Hola YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. Welcome to Skate Talks number 24, and on the 24th episode we're gonna have a guest from a new country. Well, my guest today comes from Israel. I know that I've said so many times that my guest is one of my favorite skaters, but again, it's the truth. My guest today, I don't even know how to explain the way he skates. It's just so new, so new school, if I can say it. I'm pretty sure you've seen this guy skating, and I'm pretty sure you didn't forget about this guy. So he started skating when he was 7. He's 28 years old, and his name is Bobi Spassov. So let's call Bobby. Yo, Bobby, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's late over there, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty late.
So for everyone listening to this, we are doing this in some weird hours. It's like 11 p.m. for me, but it's 2 hours more for Bobby. He's in Israel and I'm in Portugal, so it's like 1 in the morning. So,
exactly.
Okay, so if you fall asleep...
No, I'm good. I'm good with these hours. It's okay.
It's all good. Okay, so I made a few questions. I made a post on Facebook, and some people made a few questions, but we'll get there later. For now, in the intro, I said that you started skating when you were 7. How did you start skating at 7 in Israel? How was the scene over there, and what made you start skating? Why skating?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Makes me go back a little bit. Well, actually, a lot of people don't know, but I'm not that young as I look. I see a lot of comments like saying, "Oh, this kid is that, this kid is this," but I'm not a kid. So basically, I started skating in the 90s, and the 90s was the big bang of rollerblading, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I took my big brother's skates when I was like 5 years old. They were like 5 sizes bigger than me. They were just normal free skates, and I just cruised around a little bit. And one time, my dad took us to this wooden, like kind of big wooden skate park. There was only 2 skate parks in Israel back then. Maybe 3, and one of them was in a city called Herzliya. So there was a skate park there with a big vert ramp, and actually there was a hell lot of rollerbladers there, you know. It was like a hype thing back then.
Mm-hmm. And Israel seemed to be big in skating too back then. Well, you guys were on Oaks 3, Oaks 4 maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I know some stories about that, but I'm not so well educated with this history, you know.
Okay. I'm not gonna interrupt you because otherwise people will kill me.
Nah, it's okay, man. It's okay. Well, point is, like, I'm not so good with the history about the guys from Hawks 3, but I know that there was always a scene here, you know. There was always something happening back then in the 90s, and still now today, you know.
Yeah. Which even like in between you had Avichai and all that. So you were saying that your father took you guys to that wooden skate park, and since then you got like addicted right away. Was that it, or that was just like
pretty much straight away. Yeah, I started like going down like just every ramp with the free skate, and then I got my first like aggressive skate. It was like 3 sizes bigger. It was K2 Fetty, I think. It was like black and yellow, some shit.
Yeah, that's the Fetty Pro, black and yellow.
Okay, so I didn't even know like the name. I only knew like the colors, and it's K2. And like I was pretty good, pretty young, you know. Like I was skating a lot of transition. I was skating the vert ramp all the time. I was doing all of the normal kind of flips.
Wait, just give me a second, because I'm just having
flip,
some
yeah.
problem here with the sound. No, it's good again. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good now. Again, sorry.
So I'm saying I was doing all of these flips and shit. Like that was the thing back then, you know. Like people did like a bizu or a soul grind, but other than that, it was just like flipping and doing airs and stuff like that.
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you didn't know what Anchor is the platform that I use to upload my podcasts. Basically, I just upload my podcasts here, and then they make the distribution for Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and so on. It is free, and they still allow me to monetize this podcast even without having a minimum amount of listeners, which is quite cool. They make the connections with the sponsors, with them being one of the sponsors. It's a way to make a little bit of extra cash. I can upload them from my phone, from my computer, even without having this fancy gear that I'm actually using right now. So Anchor is quite cool because it's a one place for you to do everything related to podcasts. So if you want to search or if you want to get into Anchor, make sure to go on anchor.fm, or you can use the free Anchor app. Because it was more spectacular. I was the same. I used to do all the flips and try them both ways and all that stuff. And grinding would be just, it would be cool, but would be different.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there was people grinding, but they were unknown for me. You know, like only a few years later I realized there's people who are skating street. You know, like, and that didn't attract me so much back then. I guess the people who skated more street was the people that didn't have like a skate park close by. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But for us, I mean, for me, it was like the skate park is all I knew, and it was a big vert ramp, so obviously I rocked with the big guys in the vert ramp, so that was my start of things.
And did your brother skate with you at first, like you said?
Not really. He was never really attracted to skating aggressive. He stayed since then till now skating like speed and marathons.
That's cool. Does he still skate? That's awesome.
Yeah, he still skates. He's like 6 years older than me, so and he still does that. I just ordered some wicked bearings for him. Some stuff.
Yeah, because you work at the shop, right?
I work at the shop, but I actually ordered from his sponsors. From Hidden Skate. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so and after that, what happened? And then you kept skating mainly skate park. How did you got into skating? I know that a lot of people will get there later too. Some people say that you mainly skate park, which I don't really agree. But anyway, when did you first started skating like street? Like if you skated that park for that long or those parks?
I don't know if you're ready for this answer.
Get it? Tell me.
Like 25.
What? So when you like 3 years ago, that's when you started skating street?
That's when I started really like skating in the streets. I'm not talking about like skating, I don't know, curbs or rails or whatever, like in the park. That's where I actually started going down street skating with my friends. Because, yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh about it.
Yeah, I know, it's funny.
But it's cool. That means that you were spoiled with parks somehow. You had at least like the parks were good enough for you to learn, or you felt comfortable, or what was it?
Well, it's like it was still like when I stopped skating, I was 14. When I did like a really big break, I was 14, and until then, all I knew was skate parks and birds and flips and I don't know, jump boxes and whatever, you know. And when I came back, I was like 21. And
all you knew was the Azatokos.
All I knew was all I knew was the parks. But when I came back, it was already kind of different. It was already like watching Aragon and watching like competitions from skate parks and Julian Kudut and I don't know, all these kind of guys. I was just digging that. So and there was no vert ramp anymore. So I kind of learned doing all kinds of grinds and stuff in the normal kind of skate park, really vert ramp skate park. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're not right now. Let me just
Yeah.
try to see if I understand. You are right now 28, and you're telling me that about 3 years ago, that's when you first started like going out street skating and getting into other types of tricks other than flips. Is that right?
Well.
When did you really got back into skating after that big break that you said?
When I was 21, it took me like a year like to get really into shape. You know,
Okay.
like my first session, you can imagine, like I did like half an hour, smoked 3 cigarettes, and I was dead. All my body was like tightened up. You know what I mean? Like,
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that was my first session. You know, and after a year, I was like getting into shape, and I started actually really practicing like spin to win tricks. You know, so I was kind of grinding stuff and not really doing flips, but I just realized like I kind of learned soul grinds again and like Trimizu and Ali top solo, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And it just came natural for me to do it on the quarter pipe. And it's almost funny because like I learned like a kind grind and then straight away a full kick kind grind and then straight away a 540 kind grind because it just came natural from the vert skating, you know.
Yeah, because you had the spinning control. But can you do the same type of spins? I know that you can, but how long did it took you to take those spins out of a quarter pipe into like a real spot? Like one of the guys that you skate with, Yair, he's like, oh man, sorry man, my sound is just messing up. I don't know what's wrong here. Sorry. Again, it's good now.
Is it you or me?
I think it's me. So Yair is like, I always see that guy since the first time I saw him in Milan, in Italy. He's just a killer. Every time that I see him skate, it's just amazing. But skating with someone like him, was he one of your main influences, or like someone that teach you how to spin? Well, like I don't know, man. Just
not exactly. I didn't have good connection with Yair and neither of these street skaters until I was again like around 25, you know, maybe 26. Like they, especially Yair, because he was also in a little bit of a break when I just came back. He was kind of on and off, like not really showing up so much. And then only 2 years ago, he started getting really back into it, you know. And Yair is a fucking machine, man.
I know.
I don't fuck with this guy, you know?
I know, man. It's just way too ahead of everyone else. I know it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, but that's cool. Like, but do you skate with him often?
Right now, yeah. Right now he's hurt, but like in the last year or two, we're definitely skating a lot. We took trips together and everything. Like.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back a little bit. You said when you were like 21, you got back into skating, and when you were like about 25, that's when you got really more into street skating. But nowadays, on the daily basis, you still skate more park, or it's just because we see more clips of you?
No, it's just too easy to get a park clip, you know.
I know exactly.
Every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, we go street skating. We're working on like a big movie, like I don't know, 25, 30 minutes, like VOD, and we're stacking clips for a year now, you know. So we skate street right now mainly, but every time I get the chance, you know, a lot of the Insta clips that I do is like my girlfriend films it, or like my good scooter friend film it.
Dude,
you know?
don't say like, that. That's even like that even, I don't know, man. That makes me feel wrong. Like those are just the things that you do when you're just chilling. Because they are so good. I know. I'm just saying this like
in put efforts, but like it's not like my main effort right now. It's just when I'm in the park, I'm getting somebody to film, and I just do it. You know?
Yeah, and it's a place that you feel comfortable. I know how that feels like too.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Tell me something. How's your section on that video coming at the moment? Or you're not having a section, and it's just like a...
No, I'm definitely gonna have a section. It's pretty much done. Like, I feel like it's gonna take me like a month to edit the whole thing, because first of all, I'm gonna take a trip now for 2 weeks, so I'm gonna take a break, then like, it's just a year of footage. This shit takes time, so it's gonna take a month or two to edit everything. So by that time I will probably stack a few more clips if I get the chance, but other than that it's pretty much done.
That's cool. Did you have a name for it already?
Yeah, it's just XCCVOD.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost? You have an idea already?
Yeah, I think €5.
Perfect. You should put €5, and if someone wants to donate any more,
yeah, I will probably do that. Yeah.
Leave it open from 5 up. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you said, sorry to go back. I'm like curious, man.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
The thing is, most of the guests that I had, most of them, they were people that I met before. I met you before,
right.
But it's so weird for me to hear, and so interesting for me to hear what you're saying, because I remember like 2 years ago, that's when I first started looking at, hearing your name more often, and started looking at your skating more often too. And I remember at the Winter Clash, I think, did you won that year, like 2 years ago in amateurs, or you got second or something like that?
I think last year, like not the close one, but the one before.
Yeah. So I remember hearing your name a lot, like 2 years ago, something like that. And then since then, like last year, this year, the way that you've been skating, I would totally say that's like a street skater. And now you're just telling me that you started street skating like 3 years ago. It just, I don't know, somehow it doesn't make sense in my head, and that's maybe why I said I'm gonna laugh. So
I went to a weird path in my skating for sure.
But probably just like you said, like all your ability and all your background in transitions, that's why you became the type of skater that you are. The amount of control, all the shuffle and all that stuff. And that's what people keeps asking. Where did you get all that shuffle control from?
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing it, but definitely like it's very easy to see that I feel more comfortable with skating rather than with grinding, for example. It doesn't matter what type of grinding. It's just the part of actual skating is my safe zone, And even when I used to do a lot of spin tricks, it was like more about using the transition into my advantage. It was more like using the transition with the spin, flying into the object, almost as if I just needed to put my feet in a certain position and it will do itself, You know what I mean?
I would love to say that I know what you mean, but I just can't do it. I can't figure it out, but I see you doing it. It looks so easy. So there must be a trick, and I'm just hearing the trick and I'm trying to understand it. I just can't. I just could never understand the spinning thing. I guess
it's not for everybody, I guess.
I know. It's just like it was never my thing. I was more of a street skater. I'm from a really tiny town, just like you said, and we had no skate park. So basically, all I had was ledges to skate and all that. And I was never really into spinning into stuff. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Sure. It does matter that I'm curious about why did you have that break, man? What happened? You said you stopped for like 7 years, from 14 to 21. It's 7 years.
Yeah, around that time. Yeah. Well, basically, I was a troubled youth, if I could say it like that.
A rough kid.
And I was a pretty fucking rough kid. And I guess blading didn't do it no more for me back then, and it was also not so cool in the society I was hanging out with, And like all of these things together, and also getting into like using drugs, all types of drugs, doesn't matter. It's just pushed me away from blading into a certain point where I didn't think about it, or almost it didn't exist, like I would think about it every now and then, but it really didn't attract me.
Yeah, I guess like it happens with a lot of people with a lot of different things, not always related with drugs or anything like that. But a really common one is when a kid gets a girlfriend, finding out about new things. I'm not saying it's the same, obviously, but it happens like especially when you're young and when you're still finding out about new things. So
yeah, true, that's very true. But I guess I just took a longer path, I was totally disconnected from it for a long time. But I also, when I came back, it just made me appreciate this thing so much,
Yeah, sometimes you need to lose things to appreciate them more,
Yeah,
and then when you have a second opportunity, it just makes it.
Definitely.
And then, but you took 7 years. Just
pretty much, roughly 6, 7, somewhere there.
Okay, and during those times, did you thought about coming back to skating?
Not really.
How did the whole thing of coming back to skating happen? Because I see a lot of people nowadays coming back to skating, probably not with the same problem that you had, or not with the same background or whatever, but some people are finding it attractive. So what did you find attractive to get back into it?
I don't know if I could say, it's not like I saw a video or anything, but it was just like, when you get a little bit lost in life, and I definitely got lost with drugs, with bullshit, with crimes, and when I was kind of over this thing, like I had enough of this, and I got clean, like totally clean, I don't even drink alcohol or anything,
Mm-hmm.
Like I say even, but fuck that, alcohol is a drug, so.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, so I stopped with everything, and once you get to this position, after some time, you basically in a certain way kinda actually going back to how you were before you used drugs, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, and when that happened, it felt natural, like when I felt like I'm in this position right now, it felt natural to go back skating, or at least try.
Okay.
And I just took my skates that I had. It was some old USDs, I don't even know which ones.
But you did it by yourself? You just got the pair of skates and you went to the park by yourself?
I didn't even get the pair of skates. I had the pair of skates since I was 14, I just took them. They were small. I went to the skate park. I already knew some people there who was I actually had a good friend there who was younger than me. I actually taught him skating, and then he was already there, and he was fucking good ass skater, And I just came and saw him, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
And how was the reaction? Because people knew what was happening with you, right? How were the people's reaction when you first got back into it? Did they really thought you were getting back into it, or did people would look at you weird?
I think I only met a few close friends who was related to that skate park, but the whole bigger scene, they didn't know I came back yet or anything like that. I don't think they even cared, they only remembered Bobby, the guy who used to skate the vert ramp, for the core, for people like Yair or whatever. I don't think they care that I came back until they saw I'm actually pretty good, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
you were known as Bobby the Vert Skater.
Man, my nickname was Bobby Backflip.
Bobby Backflip, that would actually be a good nickname, man. Bobby Backflip,
And it's funny because I went to this competition when I was 8 years old, and I skated with the big guys. And I got 6th place, really undeserved, for just doing spins and backflips.
Yeah, but spins are what people do. So, but the backflips are just the ones.
Yeah, but understanding it from today's point of view, back then I was super happy, because I probably beat up some actually good skaters. Not that I wasn't good, I was just not in that level. Nowadays I understand these guys did real shit, back then, and I was just doing flips.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but it's also that when it's a young kid, it's people find it more spectacular somehow, and they always benefit. I'm not saying it's right, but they always benefit those people. So
yeah, of course. There was a certain charm into a little kid. Imagine if now I look much younger than I am. Imagine how much younger I looked when I was 8. I looked like I was 4 or something.
You're still on a nappy.
It was like big skates, big helmet, and then just flipping around.
Okay, so why are you skating Velo right now? I did the whole Velo thing. Why did you start skating Velo? Did you ever got skates from them? You didn't?
No, not personally from Valo.
Okay. Did you got them from a shop? Have you been buying your skates since always?
I've been buying them until I got like sponsored from Hidden Skate, and then they just took care of. Actually, shout out to Hidden Skate. They take care of me, whatever I need, everything. Almost awesome. Almost as if I don't need like a boot sponsor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know Mirek really good. I know them for a while, so I know how it is.
So they hooked me up now with all the skates I need and everything. But before that, I just bought. Actually, I was skating for Seba, and with Seba and for Seba. Like I got hooked up from my shop in Israel, and the skates were nice, and I was skating back then and more like spins stuff, and I don't know, all kinds of just spin to win, and I don't know, weird stuff that I used to do back then, like airs and even flips. And I'm talking when I was like 23 or something, and I remember that at a certain point I had like bad communication with Seba. Like I couldn't really get like a hold of them, and I just didn't like that. Like that was the only problem, I didn't feel like I have somebody to talk to at the moment, and it was just some bad communication stuff. I talked to the guy later on. He was like, "I'm sorry, like I really didn't mean that to happen." But back then I was already skating like follows. And when I realized that I don't want to skate with Seba anymore, I just picked up Valos. I bought them straight away because I was attracted to this style of skating without even doing this style of skating yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I understand totally.
Yeah.
That's cool. I never knew about the Seba thing.
It was in the start of my way, I would say.
So let me try to understand something, and for everyone listening to this. So you work for a shop in Israel. Do they sell inline skates too?
They sell. I work for Endless Roll in Israel. They sell inline skates as well, and they don't sell Valos. So that's like the main reason why I actually like looked up to hook with Hidden Skate, besides the fact that I was there on a trip and it was fucking amazing. But,
I know Poland so good. I love it.
Yeah, wow, such a great place, man.
I love it, and it's crazy how what they made with skating in Poland. It's like for everyone listening to this. Like I remember in 2005, if I'm not wrong, I went to Poland, and I was on a tour with Gonzo, and it was the second BMX tour. And then in the end, I really didn't want to go anywhere else. I just wanted to come back home to Portugal. And then suddenly someone told me, no, you need to go to Poland. And I was with Gonzo, and we went to Poland. And I remember I didn't want to go, and I had the best time of my life. And since then, I have so much respect for what Mirek and those guys are doing. It's just like, it's amazing. And every year I know like they're doing better and better and better. And for skating, it's amazing. And if someone doesn't know what I'm talking about, please try to, like, it's in internet times. You can see whatever you want. So just look for that, because it's actually amazing what they're doing. So I'm happy that you're connected with those guys, because they're the best, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, they are the best.
So what skate you gonna get next now? From Eden Skate. What you gonna skate next?
Well, I'm gonna try them skates, of course.
Okay, I was just curious, because like you've been skating something. I could see you skating basically Rochis or them skates, and that's why I'm asking.
It could be. The options is there. The options is open, but like. I got a lot of different like propositions this year. And
did you? I didn't know that. You want to talk a little bit about it? What happened?
Not yet, because I will tell you why. because I decided with myself a few months back that I will not take any decision until the end of 2018, so I can try all of my options, put them on my feet, see what I like, see how things going, with the split, with them skates, with Roses, with all kinds of different companies, so I'm just like, I want to first see what the companies do and how the skates feel on my feet, and from there I could take a serious decision,
I think that it's a smart decision. Basically, of course, I keep saying the same forever, which is most of the times it doesn't really matter the skate. Like when someone is really skilled, they can do it with every skate. But at the same time, if you have the possibility to skate, it's like me. I can actually choose the skate that I want from Power Slide. So yes, you could do it with the cheapest skate or with the worst quality skate. But if you can choose the best, why not? So it's the same with you. If you can test the skates and actually see what you feel the best. So
yeah, for sure. I want to be like when I picked the V13 first, I loved them straight away. And with some other skates that I tried in my life, like I needed the time. I'm not saying like any skates had its benefits and its worst, like
of course,
for sure. But like for example, I remember I skated USD carbons for a while, and like.
You need to break them in, man.
Yeah, I needed to break them in. But I could say that as far as learning tricks and learning new grinds, like carbon did a lot for me, because I don't know, there's something about the sole plate and how they bend like so good, and I learned so many tricks on the curbs with these skates, so like something that I probably would not want to do with V13, I think, because
it's a tiny sole. But it's like you said something a few minutes ago that you weren't really into the type of skating that you are now.
Yeah,
for sure. How would you describe the type of skating that you do right now? Because for me, it's like, I wouldn't even call it new school. I would call it the latest school, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing myself sometimes.
That's awesome.
I'm just like, I'm like, this feels good, and especially in the park, it's like I'm looking for something to look good, feel good, and be pretty easy, because I wanna finish that instantly, but the same day, I wanna come back for a park clip. So it's like I'm somewhere in between. Sometimes I feel like, okay, I need something more rough, something bigger or whatever, but I don't even know what I'm doing. I gotta be honest with you.
But it looks awesome. I don't know. It's like the spins, especially, like, cause the rest, here and there, I see it's a mix of things. Like, I have to say, like, a lot of the things that you do, I can see it. I'm not saying that you're trying to do this or that like anyone else, but I can relate a lot of the things that you do with other people. But the spins are just something unique. That fakey, I don't know how to call that thing. I don't know if it's a fakey spin to something, like the fake, I don't know.
Fakey 450 90 backwards, like a 90 reverse.
Fakey fake. I don't know.
Fake 5, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It was awesome. Like, and all those fives with the crossed feet, like, and then it kind of feels like you put multiple speeds in the same spin. Yeah. I don't know. Where did you get that from? Was it like trampoline background?
No. It's actually, I just thought about it today, like, because I knew this question was going to come up, so I just thought about it, and I actually did remember, when did I start doing this? I remember I accidentally found out I can do this in a spine ramp on a fake 360. I just like, kind of like, it's hard to explain, God.
It's kind of like you feel that you have a little bit extra time that you can play with, is that it?
Yeah, but it was kind of like, I push my legs upwards, and then I let the body come, and then I let the legs come at the end. So it's kind of like 3 moves in one move, It's like legs first, then body, then the legs again coming. I don't know. It was really random, and when I did it, someone was like, "Whoa, that was cool as fuck." And then I just adopted it, like.
Yeah, but taking it from a spine to street is completely different. Because, like,
yeah,
as
for
an
sure.
example, I used to misty flip and fake and bios and all that shit. I can't anymore, but fake it real, I can invert them still on a spine easy. But putting them flat, it's not the same. And you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, definitely.
the
It's
transition puts you
definitely
there,
not the
but to
same.
do it in like on a flat,
Yeah, I guess with
that's,
a lot of practice, it just becomes like it's just natural. I can do it almost anywhere. If it's a big gap, it's a bit scary to put this movement into a big gap. But if it's not too big, then it's already kind of natural. It's definitely different than a transition. Transition is much easier.
yeah, of course, because you have the time for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sick. So tell me, you said like boot-wise, you still don't know what you want to skate for. You're still deciding you're gonna skate the damn skates, and you'll see how it goes. But you're skating for ground control
Yeah,
and for blade life, right?
and play life and secure fin.
Oh, okay.
Which-
Sick error from
which-
Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Are you getting any wheel from Secure thing?
Yeah, right at this moment I don't use the wheels that I have from them because I started skating the mega frames and the wheels just don't fit. It's like 58 to 60 wheels is what we make in Eurofin, and the megas is obviously 64 or 62. So right now I don't skate these wheels, but
What wheels
you
are
know,
you skating at the moment?
It's just the normal ground control wheels.
Okay. Yeah, but at least you're still in the sponsor. I need the wheels from
Yeah,
your
I'm
sponsor.
I'm talking to Kev, and we're gonna figure something out. You know,
That's cool.
it was an unexpected like, you know, something just unexpected happened, and I just started skating 64, and we will need to find a way to work it out together. You know. It's
Yeah, I
okay.
think if I'm not wrong, Secure thing does the wheels with the same factory as Undercover.
Yeah.
And there might be a new mold in the sizes that you need, hopefully soon. So
All right.
let's.
That's good information.
That should be cool then.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else? Like this, and what else do you do during the day? Because you work at the shop, but do you stay at the skate shop all day, or?
No. I'm not even doing that. I'm. Maybe it will make sense to you, but I'm doing the media and the videos.
I know
and,
exactly what that is.
Team managing, you know, like it's not like I'm selling any. I'm not even. I don't even need to be in the shop. I just go by because, of course, like, I work with them. But I'm working with the kids directly, and like the scooter kids and some skateboarders, and we even got a girl like doing longboard. And
That's awesome.
you know,
So
like,
basically, you produce content for their social media.
yeah, everything, yeah.
Okay. And
take
what social
take
medias
care of
are
the
you
team.
working with? Is it mainly
Mostly
Instagram?
just Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, of course,
That's awesome.
because I film the videos for them, make edits.
That's cool. So that's what you do on a daily basis. And like for someone who does that, how many hours do you need to work per day? Like how many hours do you have left for skating? It's just crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't work that many hours because I want to put a lot of efforts in skating. So I don't make that much money as well. But I try to make just enough money so I can still have time at least 3 times a week to put efforts in skating. You know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I split my time. Like, I could work really hard and get like $2,000 or whatever, but like I rather get the $1,000 but have time for skating. You know?
That's cool. And so basically, you can get paid more if you give them more.
Yeah, because I get per edit.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And tell me something. With Blade Life, how did the whole thing happen? I actually love what they're doing. I just ordered, like 2 weeks ago, I ordered a lot of stuff. One of them. 2 of the things that I ordered was because of something that I saw you. Like one is that polo, that blue polo thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one was the shirt. I don't know if you were using it also at the Winter Clash, but more people were using it. That yellow one, the Blade Life
All
long
right.
sleeve,
Yeah.
and a few
Yeah.
more things. So, how did the whole thing happen for you to start skating for them?
Well, maybe almost 2 years ago. Yeah, actually, around 2 years ago.
Okay, so you were
Uh,
skating street already.
I was pretty much, yeah, not that deep. Right now I'm pretty deep in the game. Before that, I was like just checking it out a little bit.
Okay.
Still a park rat, and yeah, and like actually, Greg, I don't know how Greg started the whole thing, but I know that Francis, who was a good friend of mine, who still is, of course, but he was a good friend of mine since the beginning, since we met. We had this clique, we met, we were cool, and we found interest in each other. That sounds gay, but it's not.
Yeah, I know exactly, man. There's some people that, you know what, in Cape Town, people, they say that people just click, Sometimes people just click, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So Francis was skating for them already. I don't know how he got hooked up, but he was already skating for them, and we were like kind of like talking about the idea of me also skating with him for Blade Life, but that didn't happen for some time. We were just like talking about it, and everybody seems to agree on it, like me, Francis, and Greg, but it still took time until I actually talked to Greg, and then at a certain point it just happened, and of course I had good connection with Greg as well straight away, like super cool guy, and I don't know, it's just since then we just work together all the time, like me and Greg, I guess Greg does that with all the riders, but I know from my point of view that me and Greg, we are always like talking about what we're gonna do next, how we're gonna do it, blah blah blah, and like it also takes me to another issue, like with the skate brands that I told you, like I'm gonna wait. It's also the thing, like I want to be connected with my sponsors. I don't need their stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't want to get free stuff without feeling like you're not doing anything with them or working.
Exactly. That doesn't count, because with Mirek and with Greg, like, and with Kevin as well, like I talk to these people like on a weekly basis, like it's important for me.
You feel like you're part of something. I get exactly what you mean. Yeah,
like,
that's
what can I give you and what can you give me, and let's work it out, and of course also business wise and also friendly wise, so yeah, and right now with Blade Life, like this last year, we just had a lot of ideas, and Greg is fucking amazing, and it's just the product is just I think are amazing. I want to rock them. It's not like, take this, it's good. Give it to me, man. Why are you not sending me stuff?
So let me tell you, I first saw, like I said, I saw you guys using it at the Winter Clash, and then I really liked it. And then I saw it a lot on the social media. And last week I was in Amsterdam, and I was excited when I was at DC Soul Evil Skate Shop, and he had them. He had like a lot of stuff, a lot of clothes, and he made sure that I was there to film his school classes and stuff, like his skate lessons with the kids, and he made sure that I was filming the clothing that he has, because he only sells skate clothing, like skate clothing brands, like Vibrolux and Blade Life and all that stuff. And I was actually really happy that I could see the clothes, and I love it. And I especially love the cuts, because most of the clothes I just can't take it, and those ones I was actually happy because I ordered my stuff before, so without even seeing it, just seeing you guys. So last week I was like, I did a good ball, and I was just waiting. Hopefully next week I'll get my stuff. But it's actually, I don't know if you have an idea, but you're actually pretty fortunate on that, because there's no clothing brands in skating.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I know that you're one of those guys, like looking at you, you really pay attention to what you wear, and like it goes with your stuff.
I always tell Greg, like, let's make something that a non-blader would actually want to rock. Like that cool I want it to be, you know, like not just like, I don't know, some blank t-shirt and then just in the middle like I grind, I blade, you know, like, you know what I mean, like something that will look like shit. We can sell it on I don't know, like H&M or some shit, you know, like that's what from my point of view at least, that's what we're trying to do, you know, like the kids around, like they're asking like, oh, can you hook me up with one blade? Like, you understand, like they're riding the scooters, but they're like, they want to rock blade life because it's just a cool ass knife on it, you know, or a small blade, or I don't know, just
I love it.
Of course we have stuff that are like literally shouting, like blading related, but not only that, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But then Greg, like you said, also made like a killer team because, man, Michelle Prado.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like you guys, who's the whole team?
Well, it's me, Francis, Michelle, Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos, man. Carlos is such a beast.
Such a monster. I don't even understand what.
Yeah, me neither. Let's not even talk about Carlos right now. It's just.
And we have Mativela, if you know the guy.
I know, of course I do, man. He's like so powerful. I love it because all of you guys are all different. Like it's just like Carlos is just the biggest spot in town. He would kill it with the killer spin to trick, and then you and Francis somehow you have like, I don't know, I think you guys are going like in the same path, same style of skating somehow.
A little bit.
And then, man, Michelle is just that style. It's just like super hip hop, but like so good, so solid. Such a kangaroo at jumping. It jumps so hard.
God, man.
And then Matty is just so powerful, man. I've seen an Instagram clip. I think it was yesterday. Just a simple thing, like just a simple topsoul or whatever that was. It's just solid, you know. It's just like he
got that thing. Yeah, he got that solidness. Like his whole body is one movement. You know what I mean?
Just poof.
And we have Michael Witzerman.
Yes.
Let's not forget this kid.
Yeah, he's amazing. I know, he's amazing. He's from Austria, right?
Yeah, from Austria.
I'm actually curious to see what's happening now in Austria because you know Fridolin Elbow, right?
Oh yeah, I actually do.
Yeah, Frido is back in Austria. So
alright.
He was for a long time in South America, but he's been super active. He's back in Austria. Right, and I guess he's skating now with your teammate. So that would be cool. I don't know. We'll see what's happening there.
Yeah, two skilled skaters with motivations. Only good things can come out of that.
That's sick. And what about the crew that you skate with?
Thank you for coming to that. The sickest motherfuckers.
No, man, it's just like we're talking. You tell me if there's anything, but like those guys, like you wouldn't go where you've been going. You wouldn't go nowhere if you were alone, man. That's it, basically.
Oh, this is 200% truth, man. Like first of all, we start with Yair that we know, everybody knows. He's a fucking machine. And
if someone, like, how would you describe Yair if someone doesn't know him? Like,
the best unknown skater in the world. That's it. Like, if you don't know him, like, and you would see him skate, you would just be like, no fucking way that I don't know this guy.
Okay.
You know, like
I've seen him a few times, and every time that I saw him, he had something completely different from the time. You know, like everyone has their own tricks.
Yeah.
But Yair doesn't have his own tricks. He has all the tricks.
Yeah, he doesn't. You know, he doesn't even know. Like sometimes he doesn't know the name of the tricks. You know, like it's like I'm just gonna do this to that. Like it's like, bro, what are you doing? And he doesn't have any spins. He doesn't have a fake kick. Whatever. As far as technique goes, man, he's one of the best. Period.
That's what I don't even know how to describe The beast.
Well, we call him the king because since he rise up in Israel, he's always been the best. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm out there more. Like Yair is the best. King stays the king. So this is.
Yeah, and until someone comes and.
That's the thing. I don't know. The only way that the king will not be the king is if the king decides to quit. Like seriously.
Okay. I get it.
That's how we see it.
I've seen him 3 times. You see him every day, so I believe you.
Yeah,
I see
man.
you skating, and if you're saying that about someone else, I have to trust you.
It's not only me. All of our crew, we have like mad respect for Yair. He's not a kid anymore, and he's still coming, and he's still out there with us, and he's still teaching us like how to fucking do crazy shit. So we have all the respects in the world for him.
Okay. What you said that he's injured? What was his injury?
Oh yeah, you will see it soon because it's in the promo that I'm gonna release. But he's like he did some trick and then he missed the top acid and he slipped on the. For some reason, I have no clue how to call it right now. I'm
tailbone.
Blank.
Tailbone.
No, like that. Not the hips, but like over the hips, like.
Okay, ribs.
Yeah, the ribs, of course.
Yeah, man, it's like it's just for someone who's listening to this and have no idea. This is not our main language. So you like, I'm Portuguese. You are, how you say, Israeli?
Israeli, yeah.
Okay, so we're just trying to make everyone happy. So
yeah. So he hurt his ribs and he had to take some time off, because it's just something went a little bit wrong more than normal. It's gonna be better, It's not something that it's like forever, but it just needs like a few months off, maybe 2 months, to relax and come back strong. He's getting better. He actually posted a message in our group like yesterday, like, I'm getting stronger, guys.
Get ready. I'm about to go and kill it again.
Yes, coming back to kill us. That's for sure.
And were you ever close to Avichai? Or it was like more like in his time when you were away?
It was exactly like this. Like, I know Avichai and we spoke a lot of times and we met a lot of times. It's not like I don't know the guy, but it was definitely that way. When he was in his prime, I was away,
Yeah.
So, and when I came back, he was still kind of skating a little bit, but
a lot less, right?
He was just landing the airplane, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I just came back, he was still there a little bit, and I still got the chance to like learn some stuff from him. And he's a great guy, but right now he's not skating almost at all.
I know.
Unfortunately.
I know. I guess he was a really good ambassador for Israel. And
I guess so,
for a few years, he used to travel a lot, and he used to go everywhere. And like I said, the first time that I saw Yair, it was with Avichai. How do you say his name? Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
In Hebrew, it's Avichai.
Avichai. Okay.
Yeah, but people can't say that, so it's like Avichai.
Okay, it's easier for me.
All right.
But he somehow managed to skate for a few different brands, even being in Israel. And then it seems like, other than you, who else skates for any other brand in Israel? Is there anyone?
Right now, not nobody. But I think like when you come from Israel and you want to be, I don't know, known or pro or whatever, you need to do something that not every person is maybe not capable, but like willing to do it. And you need to, like, for example, I went to competitions by myself. You understand? Like, I went to competition. In 2012, I went to like fees by myself. I didn't know anybody. Like, I just went, I skated, and I went back. Like, and then other competitions, and I just had to show my face and people to recognize me a little bit. And it took a lot of time before
you start getting the
became
respect.
the position I am. Yeah,
I know exactly what that is. It was the same with
you know,
me.
like
Probably the main difference between the two of us is that the first fees that I went, I became last. So.
Yeah. Well, I came out like 6 in the amateurs.
That's good,
So,
but the thing is, like, I don't know why.
okay.
I went in 2001. It was 2000, and it was still in Palavas before being in Montpellier. And
Right.
I don't know why I competed in pro in 2000, and I really got last, man. It was so bad. But then the next day,
yeah.
but then the next day was like a street event. It was the EZA, you know that EZA event.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got second or third, something like that. So that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, so it's exactly the difference between skating parks and skating street. You know?
I was never, man. I couldn't, like, I don't even know whoever decided to put me next to Bruno Lowe and those guys.
Yeah. I actually remember that name. Actually, I'm pretty sure Bruno Lowe kicked me in the head when I was like 12 years old in what's the name of that competition? Fuck. What's the
ASA?
No, it was like the biggest one that we got kicked out, I guess.
No, that was the X Games, but before that it was
the X Games. No, in the X Games.
No.
I was there and I went doing like a fakey misty on the jump box, and he came from the other side.
No
and
way,
he
wait.
kicked me in the head.
So,
All right.
you tell me, you were at the X Games at the age of 12.
Yes.
How did that happen? You said that you don't even know, but how? Like, how did...
Well, my father was really supportive as long as he was around. You know, he was really supportive with my skating, and I remember when he was like sending emails to X Games and trying to like get me in, even though it wasn't like the finals or anything. It was just just the qualification, but that was not possible for everybody anyhow. But somewhat they did let me in. I don't even know. Like, I was too young to understand what's going on around, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I remember for someone to be able to compete at the X Games, you would need to qualify. And the qualifiers, I don't want to say anything wrong, because back then there was the ASA competitions, the Aggressive Skaters Association. They had like a circuit all around the USA. And then on some of those events, you would be able to qualify to compete in that. So it's crazy that, like, but you know what? In the other end, like, I also competed at the IMYTA, and it was kind of like the same way. So I guess whoever tries, things happen to that people. So
yeah, they didn't let this happen so quick, but eventually, after, that's what I remember at least. After we tried a few times, they let me in, and I just competed. You know, I wasn't really capable of doing
how did Bobi backflip do?
Well, I definitely did a backflip. You know? I remember seeing like Stefan Alfano doing a cork 900s back then, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
he
man.
was going high, and he had the most stylish cork 900s, you know, since forever.
I know. But Bruno did the whole run fakey. Well, it was one of the one that he won. He did the whole run fakey. Don't ask me, like, in those big ramps. I know that nowadays Joey Atkinson is doing those, but like, man, it's been like almost 20 years. Maybe not 20 years.
For sure. Well, we're not that innovative as we think, you know. Like,
we are, man. Have you seen you skate?
are.
Have you seen you skate?
Yeah, but yes, we are. But at the same time, like, people did stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there was always this guy, you know, like, when I first did the fakey Misty Flip 270 to shuffle, like, the day after that, or maybe not the day after, but like a week after, like, Francis sent me a video of somebody doing like a forward Misty 270 to assist line. And I was like, what the fuck? It was like, I was sure, like, I'm the only one, you know, like, I just invented some shit, and then somebody shows up, and I'm like, okay,
come on.
shows me again, like,
No, man.
people did stuff, you know.
I know. And like, even the way that you spin, we were talking about that. Do you remember this guy called Ethan Kramer?
Actually, no.
Okay, so Ethan Kramer used to do a lot of... It was different, but it was somehow something similar to what you do. Not similar, but with different speed spins, if that makes sense to you. Like different speed in their spins. Like, I don't know, like
mention
variations of
speed.
speed.
Mention Frankie Morales, no?
Yeah, Frankie does it, but Frankie used to play a lot more with his legs, you know. And yours was a little bit different because it's more like it looks like you're spinning in a certain way, and then suddenly you go faster. And that guy Ethan Kramer used to use his legs, like he used to jump he used to do it on a vert ramp, just like a regular hare, and then out of a kick he would do a 540. It was really weird. But it kind of reminds me of what you're doing nowadays. But then guys like Scott Crawford also used to do a lot of shuffles. So it's kind of like what you're doing nowadays, and that's what I was saying before in this podcast, which is it kind of looks like you're mixing a lot of things from a lot of people, and I love it. And that's why, like, on these questions that a lot of people did, there's one question from one guy called, you know, Miguel, the MC from Winter Clash, and from basically from every big competition happening nowadays. He just made a question like, how do you make an ugly trick look good? It's just... Do you spend time on it? Do you actually think about it, or it just happens?
Oh, yeah, of course. I do tricks, and sometimes I do tricks 100 times if I need to.
And do you look at them? It's just like, what's the process? It's like, sorry about like all these questions. It might seem stupid, but it's just like, I'm the opposite, man. I just don't give a fuck. I'm just different.
I understand.
But the way that you do it, it looks amazing, and I love it. And
I put a lot of effort and thought into it, and every time when I try the trick, and like, of course it depends. Some tricks I already know, but let's say I try a new trick that I want to make it look good. I film it, I look at it, I do it again. I look at my hands, I look at my body, I look at my legs, I look at my landing, I look at everything that I can possibly look at, and I just do it again and again until I get it. And if I don't get it, it just doesn't go in the cut, you know? Like, I throw it away and I come back another day and try it again, or, you know, it's like the point, I feel like the point of my skating is to make it look good and cool. And if I don't stand for my own point, then what's the point? You know what I mean? Yeah, like just doing the tricks just to do it it doesn't do me anymore.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's just like you created your own thing, and you want to stay loyal to that thing that you've been doing. That's it.
Exactly. And I'm not saying I don't have this like sessions with myself that I just learn tricks and they look like shit. Trust me, I do have this.
We all do.
I'm just like going skating a little curve by myself. I don't want anybody to watch me, you know.
That's me playing a game of Blade or Skate or whatever with Be Free. Every time he does a trick, I was like, no, not that one, because I'm so bad at that one. It's just like, that's why the game of Blades can be bad. If you're filming those, man.
Me a lot. I don't film those. I just play them to learn.
I know, but
I don't want a camera in a radius of 500 meters when we play the game of Blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess like you're really picky with everything which is coming out of you, sure. And that's amazing. But you said one word when I asked you about that. You said like when you were describing the parts of your body that you care, and a lot of people spoke about that part of your body, which is hands. I'm just going to say hands, and I'm going to let you talk about it. Do you want to say anything about hands?
Yeah, hands. Well, basically, as motivated by Nick Labar and Alex Brosco, and I don't know, right now it's also Kelsos, but I just noticed that, and it's also a lot from skateboarding. Because the stance of skateboarding is like the normal stance of skateboarding, before they do the trick, like sometimes they get all over the place when they actually grind something or whatever. But before, just when they ride to the spot, they have this hands kind of low and their fingers together, like when you do trick and you're not aware of what your body is doing and you just concentrated on the trick, you can do like weird stuff with your fingers and weird stuff with the hands and with your body, and some people even do weird faces, and like, yeah, and it's okay, but at a certain point when you, or at least for me, when you're kind of like had enough of just doing tricks, then you start putting effort on learning like what your body exactly doing at the time while you're on the trick. You actually need to think about it, to imagine it, and then you get the feeling. And of course, if you film it, you could actually see the difference. Like this is why I like to film a lot as well, because I can see myself and understand. Oh, this trick was good, but the hand was not good. So I need to think of my left hand now. And then I come again, I approach the same trick, and I just fix my left hand, until at a certain point it becomes natural. And that's the best part, because a lot of the tricks that I do today, I don't need to think about myself anymore. I don't. It's only with new tricks now. But when I learned these tricks, I had to think about everything.
A little attention to detail to everything. That's awesome.
Exactly, yeah.
But there's something which I find it really, really curious, which is in the early 2000s, there was a time that some of the people would also care about ends. But it kind of feels like it was the total opposite of the way that you put your hands nowadays. So you know that how you put you face your palms down somehow, and you point your fingers out. Does that make sense what I'm saying? There was a time that the back of your hand would face the ground, like, if it's kind of hard to explain, maybe easier with a picture, but try to imagine like your palm would be almost up, would facing up, and that would be like something that Frankie Morales used to do like early 2000s. So there was like, it's funny to see how
but this is evolution,
Yeah, but at the same time it's still hands, it's funny because it's still hands, sure. But it's just funny how little detail progression, if you can call it.
Yeah, but it's just people did think about stuff and they tried it. It just, some things, especially with sport that is so new, like it needs its time to form itself to a better position, you know what I mean? So people tried stuff, like before there was a good car, there was a shit car, you know what I mean? Like the first cars, it's like, I don't know, let's say somebody, in the first car, somebody tried to do, let's say, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, somebody like, for example, tried to do like a sunroof, but he did a really shitty, unuseful sunroof, but he had that idea. But only 50 years later, for example, somebody actually did a good sunroof.
Yeah, they perfected it.
Yeah, it's just a metaphor, but it's the same with everything, like, and we are a new sport, and part of the reason that we are common nowadays. But
okay. So let me make you a question that comes from me. It's none of these Facebook questions. It's for someone who cares that much about hands and someone that cares that much about style. Is it better for you to have like a grabbed trick, or you think that a freestyle trick, non-grabbed, can look amazing?
I totally rock with non-grabs, actually.
I love it. I do love it, and I love it the way some people do it. But
I always never grab anything. Like, I don't think it actually helps for me, but I actually, I really like the freedom of rollerblading. Like, this is why we also do need to care about hands and everything so much, because like in scootering or in bikes, like BMX, they catch something. And even in skateboarding, you have a certain stance that you're like obligated to be.
Yeah, you're limited. Yeah,
exactly. In skateboarding, just a little bit, but in rollerblading, it's so free, So you have to take Like, you don't have to, but it makes more sense that we need to put much more efforts on style because we're so free. And this is why, like, if you would see just people who are new to the sport or whatever, like, it looks, you know, like a new skateboarder and a new rollerblader looks much worse. You know, like,
I know.
You can't do anything about it.
A lot of people say that it's because one of the reasons that somehow we don't succeed as fast as other sports or as good as other sports, it's because it's way too easy to make skating look bad. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why I really appreciate what a lot of people are doing to trying to put like style like in first place. It's really not my thing, and I respect that. It's just like I don't know. I think I had my times when I tried to make things look better, and nowadays I just want to brawl. That's it. I'll find ways, but I respect like whatever type of form of rolling you'll do, as long as you respect other people. I'll respect whatever you do.
Sure,
but
for sure.
I guess that's it. But like talking about style and talking about hands, we're gonna go to a name that you just said there too, Nick Labar. And people keep comparing and saying that you kind of like trying to do the same. I don't think you're trying to do the same, but it's for sure one of your biggest influences, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Is it from skating? Is it from whatever type of problems you went through, or do you relate with him somehow? Did you ever spoke with him, or is just?
I didn't. I actually never spoke to him, and I think like first of all, I don't think my skating looks like his skating because it's just such different backgrounds, you know. Like even if I wanted to, the things that I do is just not the things that he does, and the things that he does is not the things that I do. But I think like what attracted me the most when I first saw him skating, and I was like, when I first realized like, oh my god, I'm amazed by it. It was when I realized like, okay, this guy just made rollerblading look cool as fuck without necessarily jumping drop rails, doing I don't know whatever, all kinds of like the typical kind of grind blading how it used to be, you know. He just put something else into it, and of course I know that he took it from skateboarding, you know. It's not a secret. He also used to skateboard himself, you know, like him and his crew, you know, and also the filming way, and it's not only about the way of the skating, it's everything together. But the point is like I definitely took inspiration from him. I never lied about it. I never said anything about it. I always, everywhere that I had the possibility to mention him in a good light, I always did that because I really think rollerblading owes him a lot because he brought, it's not about the style and it's not the clothing, it's not anything. He just brought the concept, him and his crew, the concept of like rollerblading can be anything and it can still be fucking cool.
Yeah, was it in KCMO that you're talking about?
Yeah, like, and yet again, when I say him or them, it's probably also wrong because there was probably already people doing that before, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Nick Reedy was kind of putting that, like, back in the day was Nick Reedy, but for sure the Kelsos have been doing an amazing job of just making simple things look amazing, and of course we all know that they can do way more than just simple.
Exactly.
They can do whatever they want, and they choose to do simple and to make it look good, and I love that.
Exactly. So. And that's a lot of people mistakes with judging people like me, Kelsos, whatever. They think that we cannot do things, I guess, but they have a big mistake, you know, like there is a certain place when you start to choose what you're gonna do for a reason, you know what I mean? It's not just to do tricks anymore.
Come on, you need to make a video called Spin to Lose.
Spin to lose, huh?
Just to show everyone that you can still do those, come on.
Yeah, sometimes I throw a spin to win trick, come on. Just not long ago, I did like a topsoul 540 through the corners or something.
I know, I've seen that stuff, but like you can do the full section. Just to spin to lose. I know you can do it, I know. You can see, like I said, the way you skate, you can actually see it fully.
It's just not so exciting anymore. I pushed it the maximum I could. I tried tricks like fakie 720. I'll leave fish brain on a quarter pipes.
No
I even
way.
did
Can you still do it?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I mean, when I was in Holland, I did a fakie 720 kind in like 2 tries. So I still got that inside me.
I remember that. I remember the fakie 7 kind.
Yes, but it just doesn't give me the excitement so much anymore because I also have a lot of different grinds to learn and different types of skating to learn.
I'm just this is just weird. I'm just listening to you talking, and all I can think of is like, this guy is 28 years old, and he just told me that at 25, that's when he first started street skating. It does. Dude, 3 years ago, that's when I moved to South Africa.
Yeah,
it's just like...
I know, it's funny.
Oh, damn it. It just doesn't make sense.
And
yeah, tell me.
I wanna add up to that, like, one of the reasons I don't do spins to win anymore is because street skating is so exciting to me because it's new. Can you imagine? Like, I'm learning things like I'm doing things in the street nowadays that I thought like, whoa, I didn't even know I could do that.
Wait, can you even roll downstairs?
What do you mean roll downstairs?
Because like, when you miss a rail trick and you need to roll downstairs, like one of the first things.
I learned that the hard way. Don't worry.
No, I'm just asking because like, if you never street skating, that's one of the things that you learn.
I'm still like, I'm not like rails. I only do them when I have to, simply because this is the most unexperienced place for me. Like, I'm not talking about the small P rails when I can kind of work around, but when they take me to a real handrail, I'm like, you see, guys, there's a gap there, or there's a bank there. Like, let me
you always find excuses not to.
Yeah, but sometimes, and also because I want myself to like conquer my fears a little bit. So sometimes I just fucking jump the rails.
Ah, man, sometimes I bet it's really unmotivational to skate with Yair, because
man, yes. And what the thing is, when he like practice a hurricane topsail on the handrail, it doesn't even look dangerous because he knows all the possibilities, and when he misses, it just goes to the side a little bit. It looks so simple. Oh, I can hurricane topsail as well.
Can you do it? Can you do it?
I'm gonna fuck my face up if I'm gonna go a hurricane topsail on a real handrail. Like a 12-stair or a 15-stair handrail. Oh god. Like, my friends keep telling me I probably can do that, but I'm not checking the limits, I'm not that young.
Yeah, you're 28, you're not that young anymore. Okay, tell me something. How did you felt about the whole Roches thing at first? Because I know that you love what John has been doing, what he was doing at Valo. And now that the whole thing, everyone was into the whole new them thing. But that suddenly everyone started talking shit on Roches. But in the end, you're skating a skate that you love to, and it's a Roches boot. Did you first just hate it on the brand just because it was easier, or did you actually thought a little bit deeper in it?
I don't think I ever mentioned anything about Roches, first of all.
No, I'm not saying that you did. I'm asking
I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to avoid like this kind of stuff in my life in general, and I was definitely waiting to see all the the big picture, because the picture was very small. John is living, blah blah blah. No money, yes money. I'm sure both of the sides had their how do I say it?
Fault.
Had their fault
Obviously.
in why it's not working, because it's just like that for tango. You need two, And I'm definitely supporting John. Like, even if I would not like them skate, I first of all bought them without thinking. I didn't care how they look. I didn't care what people say. I just bought them to support John. And I know a lot of other people did that as well, And right now, I don't really have a stance on neither of the companies. I'm just gonna try like them skates. I already know that I like the V13, so I'm just gonna try them skates and have an opinion about how the skates are, and I don't know what else to say about it.
Would you see yourself skating 4 Roches in 2019 as an example? If they would make you an offer, would you see yourself skating for Roches?
First of all, yes, but it depends on other stuff that are not related to Rosses being Rosses. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like it depends on the team they will put together, because I think the image is important, and I think like type of my skating need to be related with the people that skate in the type of that skating. Pretty much, at least, you know what I mean? Like, and for now they have Joe Atkinson, who is fucking amazing skater, like only good words about this guy. But just in general, it does depend on this. And also, like I said before, like, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I get everything that I need and more than that from Hidden Skate, and I don't need a boot sponsors if they don't offer me money. I'm sorry, it's very simple. It's business.
Of course, man.
I'm not saying they need to fucking pay me, I don't know, like $1,000 or whatever. That's not gonna happen. This is 2018 rollerblading, But
you know what? We're wrong. It is going to happen. I believe so. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now, but the way things are going, it's going to happen. And one example of that is, like, I keep saying the same, and that was one of the things that I kept on saying on the Winter Clash. I did a few of those talks, like those panels and all. There is money in skating, man. There is money in skating, and there is a lot more to be made. But money means work, and a lot of times,
yeah. I understand that, actually, very good, because let's not forget, I'm pretty much, I could say, I am taking care of almost a full scene of scootering in Israel. And when I say a full scene, I'm talking about like I don't know, a total of 1,000 kids, like and I am like almost like in charge of a big part of the scene, I'm managing.
That's amazing.
The strongest team. I talk to the kids every day. I know what's going on. I know what is the scene. So I definitely have some point of view about the blading scene.
Yeah, man, it's just it is there, but again, like the type of work that you've been doing with, like, your stuff, the stuff that you do, it's pretty valuable. And if skating keeps on going the way it's going right now, I guess there's a lot of opportunity. And did you hear the podcast with that? I think Mike Paul did with Chris Edwards like 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, so there was this podcast where Chris Edwards, I'm sure you know who Chris Edwards is.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Edwards was saying that this is actually one of the best times for. You say rollerblading, I say inline skating, it doesn't matter, but it's one of the best times for skating ever. Because nowadays, there's not bigger corporations trying to make money out of us. So it's actually, we are in charge of what we do,
Exactly.
Companies like John, but even like companies that people think they're too big, like USD or whatever, people don't have an idea what they're talking about. Those companies are owned by skaters, man. So all these companies are actually owned by skaters. We rule our own industry, if that makes sense. It's up to us to make it like you are trying to do, to make it look cooler, to make it look appealing. So that's why I believe that it's so important to have skaters like you. And that's why people like Miguel made those questions. How do you make those simple things look so good? And that's important.
I have a lot of opinions about these subjects because I'm so deep in the mix here, and first of all, fuck, my mind got a little bit blank. Just as I say, I got a lot of opinion.
I'll just tell you. I'll just make you a question. Would you sponsor a guy in Israel, that would be amazing. Would you sponsor Bobi Backflip if he was riding scooters at the moment? Or would you sponsor the kid that wouldn't do the backflips but would scootering look amazing?
Well, of course, on my position, I would lean to the guy who makes it look amazing, and I definitely, in my job, I definitely put more eyes on the guys who does like street kind of skating, and and they look smooth and they look strong. Actually, it's not like this kid will ever hear this podcast, but I went to the skate park the other day to film some rollerblading, and I saw this scooter kid, and the moment I saw him like just doing a few tricks, I was like, "Yo, dude, what's your name? Like, I'm gonna take you to my team." Like, I didn't even ask like the owner. I was like, this kid is coming because I could see the potential on his movement. He was looking so good and so strong on that scooter shit. I was like, whew. So definitely, I push the kids that make shit look good. I push the kids who understand, who are aware. But I also have guys that are less aware and they're just doing tricks just to do them. But, they're still part of the sport and they're still doing something. And in a certain way, not that I like it, but in a certain way, it does bring the kids in. You know what I mean? Like this flips and this whatever.
You're probably right. We probably need to have as much variety as possible.
Exactly.
That was probably one of our biggest problems a few years ago. It was like everyone was going the same way. And I guess that's one of the things that also Chris Evers says, just like, we can be whoever we want. So from the style, from the kid that really cares about the way he looks to the one that it just doesn't give a fuck.
And they both matter. That we need them both because we need to attract kids from all kinds of directions. And I really don't think people should be only style or only whatever. Sometimes I do think that way, I have my moments when I'm like,
we all do.
but that's the truth. But at the end of the day, when I get to lean back and think about it from a reasonable place, I'm like, okay, we actually need everybody, and we need to attract as many kids from all kinds of positions and all kinds of understanding, because people they're literally born with different abilities. Some people are just better at doing flips. Some people are not capable at doing flips, and maybe if they will really try hard, but you just see on their body they don't have this thing inside them, and but then these people, a lot of times, they just so much more technical, it's just for example, me and Yair, we keep saying that Yair is not better than me and I'm not better than Yair, but his abilities on the technique side is just impossible to do, and then again, when he sees stuff that I do, he thinks the same way. He's like, what the fuck, I could never do that, so it's just different abilities for different people, and this is why we need everybody.
People have different bodies, and there are also limits or makes it easier for you to do certain things. Let me make you one question that I'm super curious. What you do, is it a slide or is it a shuffle most of the times? Does the boot touch or it's just wheel slides?
I lean on the boot. If it's a set slide, I lean on the boot straight ahead, 100% boot. My wheels don't even touch.
Okay. And most of the ones that you do on quarter pipes and all that stuff, it's...
On quarter pipes, it depends on the degree of the quarter pipe, because if the degree is is not if the shape is not so, you know what I mean?
If it's not too steep, not too deep.
Yeah, if it's not too deep, then your wheels have to touch, but it's just still going, so it's okay. But when I actually do a real set slide, it's only on the boot.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it, man. I guess I don't have a lot more things to ask you, huh? Is there anything that I forgot that you would like to say, man?
Yeah, I don't know. We went all around things. Like, I want to shout out to my crew for sure. Like Omri. If people don't know Omri Baum, he's like the guy aside from me as well, but he's the guy behind the lens, and you know, he's part of the mastermind behind everything. We have Daniel Beach, who when you will see his section, you would be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Is that the young kid that you posted the other day or something?
No, that's Yair the Little, because his name is Yair as well. So it's like, he's just the next Yair for sure, you know. We got Max Koshilev, who is like somewhere in between everybody. He can do everything. Sometimes he can do nothing. He got this amazing natural style, you know. It's like he's really taking a little bit from everybody. So he's definitely got a big future for him, you know. Okay. So I said Daniel, Omri, Yair, and Max, and Yair the Little, you know. And yeah, Daniel, Omri, Max, and Yair, and I and me. We're gonna have like a full sections in the video, and then there's gonna be some friends, a few tricks from this guy, a few tricks from that guy, you know.
Dude, I'm excited. I want to see it. I'm so. Come on. Yeah, come back from Poland fast.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be exciting to watch.
That's cool.
We definitely did put our best efforts into it. So like.
How long did it take to film?
Yes, it's over a year now.
That's awesome. Skating every weekend and.
Pretty much. I mean, the crew is very busy. Unfortunately, Israel is a very expensive country, and people have to work a lot. And Daniel is studying in the university. You know, like we don't have that much time as we would want to, but we definitely try our best.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Israel becoming like a really tech capital, and usually,
for sure.
And usually tech capitals become really, really expensive. Tell me, does a tech capital like Israel have a lot of skaters, or?
Not really. I mean, we do have the scene, and we do have this pretty strong core scene, but aside from that, like. It's not that big. When I was in the Netherlands, or I also remember Eric like asking about the Netherlands, and like when I was in the Netherlands and I saw how big is the scene actually is and how many kids there is,
crazy.
Like, it's amazing, and we're definitely nothing like that, but there's people popping, you know, there's things happening. It's alive, you know. It's not the biggest, it's not the craziest, it's not always so active, but it is alive. It's out there. We have some kids.
Is anyone doing classes and shit?
Not really, no.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I've seen in the Netherlands that has been making a huge difference. Like Eric was doing like an event just for kids when I was there.
Yeah,
I saw that. And then Evo schools are amazing. He has so much people, and it's the same in Poland. You met Yogurt, right? Did you ever met Yogurt? Tomasz. I think his name is Tomasz. That's one.
I think so. Yeah.
So there's both Tomasz making like doing skate schools, and they're like super successful in Poland. And
yeah.
If you look from the outside, all the countries or all the places where skating is actually big, you would say like Spain. You have Roex doing the classes. You look at Barcelona. You look at the Netherlands. You have Evo with the schools. And basically, you have the places where we have like a lot more kids. It's because there's a lot of schools, and
yeah, that's true.
It's hard sometimes to start something, but
yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's almost like I have some kind of expectations for someone else to take the ropes. You know, like to lead that way, because right now the crew is so focused about actually being out there, because it's so hard when you come from a shithole. Basically, getting out there is not an easy task, and we're so focused about that we really don't find time to focus about like the next generation.
Yeah.
But the next generation is there naturally. It's just not that big as we would want it to be,
Yeah.
But definitely, I know a good friend of mine, Dor, who's also with us, also with the crew, also rocking with us in the streets, and he's like now learning, like getting like a certain, it's not really a degree, but it's like some kind of
certificate, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
like,
good for someone who works like for the shop owner that you work for. That's important for them that someone is doing it, because that's how he can improve his sales and all that. So
exactly, that's true. But I don't know, I just feel like right now it's not yet the time for me.
No, I'm not saying it for you, because you're trying to focus on skating more and more and more, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
All good, man. I guess it was.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a productive talk.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're gonna have some editing to do.
I will. So, if you're listening to this right now, and if it looks okay, there's some stuff that I didn't listen. We had to cut it, or my system here didn't work as well as we wanted. But anyway, it is what it is. So
yeah, for sure, man.
Thank you so much for this. I think it's a little bit late, man. There, huh? It's 1 for me.
Yeah,
it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's 3 in the morning for you. Okay, so thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Enjoy Poland.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
I know that a lot of good things will happen to you, so keep skating straight.
For sure, man. This year is gonna be a lot of videos.
Sick. I'm waiting on that VOD, man. That's the first one that I'm really waiting for.
You.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Have a good night, Bobby. Cheers.
Yeah, you too, man.
Cheers.
Good talks. See you.
And that was it. Bobi Spassov. It's just this guy that competed at the X Games at the age of 12. Started skating about 3 years ago. It took a break, a 7-year break, and just the whole thing is just such a story. Come on, my system today is just not well. I tried. Basically, I'm still in Portugal. I'm staying by my parents now, and I'm gonna be back in South Africa in about 2 weeks' time. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be here testing some skates, doing some product reviews, doing some videos in this channel. And if you did enjoy this podcast, do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you're watching it on YouTube. Also, make sure to check my Patreon, patreon.com/Ricardo Lino, if you want to support this project. And this project has, from this podcast to videos almost daily on my YouTube channel. And that's it. If you're subscribing already, do not forget to give me some thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you didn't, and more important than anything else, do not forget why we all started skating, because it's fun. Cheers.
Vou viver até quando